Hello watchers, welcome back to the channel where today I am very happy to be able to present the first Casio G-Shock that I have on the channel, and this is the second courtesy that I have to give kudos to the people at Celine Jewel, Watertown in Perth. The nice little jewelry store, jewelry and watch selections that they have there in West Perth. So, you know, go by and give them a look if you are ever around the area, or in fact if you are local and you haven't visited the place. This is the modern G-Shock tin, which, you know, it's nice and simple and black. It's got its own style. G-Shock since '83, really, the first models that Casio released that you know, really brought a new thing to watches. Quartz watches at the time were, you know, electronic, thought to be fragile, and this kind of changed the game a bit. You know, shock resistant and water resistant 20 bar, which is really what this watch is. Okay, so let's open up the case and see what we got. So what I have here is a GA series watch. This is a Casio G-Shock Gravitymaster series twin sensor aviation watch. Now this is very much part of the Gravitymaster series, but it is not, please note, this is not a Master of G. Really only the top model of the Gravitymaster series is somewhat considered a Master of G, the top line G-Shocks. This one very much is the entry level to the Gravitymaster Aviation series. It is the GA-1000-9G model, and it has a US MSRP of $250, I believe. Now this case is, you know, the classic resin, the urethane resin that makes G-Shock famous. It is 52 millimeters wide at the horizontal level. It's a G-Shock case, but it is not triple G protection. Now G-Shock triple G means shock resistance, G-force resistance, and vibration resistance. This one is mainly the shock resistance that it claims. It is a 17 millimeters thick, so it's a fairly typical G-Shock size as far as I've seen. You know, I certainly haven't played around a lot with G-Shocks. In fact, this is one of the few that I've gotten my hands on in the last few years, and really the first G-Shock for the channel, and the first, I can say, analog digital combination watch that I've featured here. Screw construction, you can see the screws on the back there. 200 meter water resistance, as we saw on the tin, and it's got a gold tone steel under bezel under the resin protection there. Mineral glass in this version. You know, the higher range G-Shocks do have sapphire. They start featuring sapphire, but this is a mineral glass watch. It's got an what they call an afterglow black light LED. And I'll see if I can feature the lighting here. There you go, you can see that blue LED lighting. And it also has LumiBrite, Casio's Lume, on the hour and the minute hands, as well as the hour markers around the outer circle. And interestingly, they chose to differentiate the 6 o'clock hour marking rather than the 12 o'clock. You know, I'm not sure why that is. They could have easily differentiated the 12 o'clock mark. Please note the numbers 9, 12, 3, they don't have lume on them. But I guess, you know, this is a G-Shock with LED glow. Why wouldn't you just press the button and then you know exactly what's going on? Okay, so the movement is a quartz, of course, multifunction module. 5302 is the module designation, and this pleasingly is again packed with features. Now I'll try to demonstrate all of it, but you can see it's a negative display LED LCD, which means the The displayed numbers are the lighter color. So hopefully I'll be able to catch this with the camera, everything I want to display here. Okay, so the twin sensors refer to thermometer, so I'll just press the thermometer function here, and you can see it's reading 27.3 degrees. And the temp comes up on that top LCD display there. All right, so that's the thermometer function. The other sensor is direction, which is compass. Now, if you look at that mode dial there, you have a timekeeping mode at the 12 o'clock position with that kind of symbol there. Then it goes to WT for world time, timer, I think, and then stopwatch, and then alarm. Let me just have a look. No, it goes to stopwatch and then timer and then alarm. It's very small. You have to really squint a bit to see it. And then at the 10 o'clock position, you have the sensor, the second sensor indicator, which is compass. So you press that button there to get the compass, and I'll just do that now. And you can see it goes to compass, and then it goes to, that's the direction there. So I'm going to put the 12 o'clock facing directly, and you can see it's 200 and something degrees. It really is southwest where I'm facing, and that arrow is now pointing to the north, which, you know, consistently is on the back right of me. All right, so that's really how the compass works. Let's go back to timekeeping mode here. All right, so those are the twin sensors. What else does it have? The second mode is really, I think, quite well implemented. So WT for world time, and I've set it to NYC, which is New York, and the digital display now reads New York time. Now, if you look at the bottom of the dial there, you have two kind of arches. Now, the top arch is the second counter in most modes, in the timekeeping mode. And then the second arch, you can see a 24-hour mark there. And you've got New York at 12:10, and that middle mark is lit now with a marker that doesn't blink, and that's 12 for 12:10 p.m. or 12:11 p.m. now. What time is it in Perth? So you can see that blinking marker at the very left edge of that arch. That is the time, which is, you know, really just past 1 a.m. And yes, it is just past 1 a.m. that I'm filming this in Perth, Western Australia. All right, so that's quite a nice little implementation. Very efficient and doesn't take up a lot of space at all. Okay, so that's world time there. You can actually switch the cities, and I'll do that with this button here. And you can see it's going across to, what do we got? Santiago. And then a few, Rio. A few other cities I don't recognize. And I'll just click across to, you know, UTC. Middle Greenwich time. Lisbon, and then, you know, London time, which is, you know, also GMT time. You know, and it's got 48 cities. It covers every time zone that you are going to want to be interested in. I think every time zone in existence, really, officially. It doesn't have Perth, but, you know, it's got Hong Kong, Singapore, same time zones at Perth, which is what I select to set the home time. Okay, so that's world time, and then the rest of the modes are that lovely Casio Horology. You know, it's the same across just about all their models. Okay, so this is a stopwatch. You know, nice and easy. You can see that arch now just flicks across as it times, and this is a 1/100th of a second stopwatch. Goes for 24 hours if you ever want to stopwatch for that long. All right, and the reset is actually this button here. Right, this button's always a light. I thought that was reset, but, you know, there's a slight difference to the Horology. The adjust button is actually the reset. All right, next mode, timer, which goes up to 60 minutes. It's set at 10, and, you know, see time. It'll obviously just count down. Right, reset there, and then alarm. This one has 4 daily alarms that you can set separately, and a snooze function as well. And let's just let you hear the alarm sound. Okay, that's the alarm sound. That's how it would sound when it rings. That's really all the functions. You know, really feature-packed, and that wheel time, I just like so much. It implements it so well. Okay, the strap, and nothing special. It's the urethane resin for the G-Shock, but something different is that this buckle, if you already noticed, has two prongs. And at first I looked at it and thought, oh gee, what's going on there? But the more time I spent with this watch, I started thinking, gee, actually that's pretty cool. You know, why not? I don't think they've really compromised the strength of the band there. So you know, why not? That's cool actually. Now, you know, after a while, that's why I thought, let's put it on for the wrist shot. Okay, so there we are for the wrist shot there. You know, yes, bulky, but you know, it is a classic G-Shock size. This is really right in the middle of the G-Shock sizing. There are bigger ones, there are smaller ones, and you know, this does suit my 17 centimeter wrist not too badly for a very casual, rugged watch. All right, so what I liked about this is a G-Shock. It is a, you know, it's got that tough resin case. It looks like it will really take a beating. It's got modern design and it's techie, but this one isn't really too noisy. I picked this out because of the looks. You know, it's got that analog display. It's got that negative LCD, so it's got a quietness about it in the black. And yes, it's got that gold tone, but then overall, it's not too loud, I find, which is something I've liked about this. It's feature-packed as expected from any G-Shock, you know, from Casio. It's got a great wheel time implementation. You know, it's really nicely done. I think I like how they've done that. You know, it's got that, you know, that dial, which is really, I've come to quite like, you know, the analog side of it, that nice mode wheel, which has a little plane design. If you haven't, sorry, I haven't pointed that out yet, but it's a little plane that turns around, you know, with that aviation theme of this watch. And as mentioned already, it's got that Casio homology. You know, you've used the Casio, you immediately are familiar with how to set the time. I didn't have to look at the manual. You know how to use the alarms, the stopwatch, the timer. The only thing I really had to fiddle around to figure out was the wheel time, which is something a bit different in this watch. And then the compass, you know, a little bit of getting used to that extra button there. And a nice texture there on that compass button. What's not so good, the weaknesses, I think this is not a tough solar. Okay, so it's battery powered. You have to replace the battery after 3 years or so. The higher models start to become tough solar, so that is a weakness. But you know, you pay less for this one, and that's what you kind of expect when you pay less. It's not going to have all the features. The hands in this one are okay, but I'd just like to point out that some of the G-Shock models, you know, if you look at the reflecting on the hands really near the center, they can start to be a bit tacky. There are models I've seen where it's not flat, it looks almost like foil that's been bent. This one's okay, and this one's black as well, so it stays quiet, but just something that I've noticed on some of the models that I've seen that you know, I find can be a bit of an eyesore. So there we have it, a look at this Casio Gravitymaster twin sensor G-Shock watch Aviation line. I hope that's been a you know, enjoyable look at something different. The first G-Shock I've featured on the channel. You know, let me know what you think. You know, remember to subscribe if you like to keep in touch. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.